24-year employee of American Modern Insurance in Amelia, Ohio. And currently I'm a claims supervisor. My responsibility is South Louisiana and South Texas. So I'm responsible for New Orleans, and you follow the Gulf Coast all the way around to Beaumont, Houston, San Antonio, and down on the Rio Grande Valley. Paul Hall Insurance is very prolific. When I moved to Georgetown, looking around, you see he had a large presence at the Brown County Fair. The Brown County Fair is in the village of Georgetown. So while we're townies, we just I live pretty close to the courthouse in an older home. You could tell he had a big presence. And then as we got to know the area, obviously Mount Orab was where he was domiciled. But later on, he eventually acquired agencies in Georgetown. When I bought my old house, it needed a lot of work. So I asked the owner who he was insured with, and he said, Sales and Cowhall, which, as you know, Paul Hall now owns. So I went to realizing the work that it needed. I needed to be very careful about how I applied for insurance, and I went to that agent, and they were the previous owners were insured with Westfield. So I asked to roll over the policy, and they agreed without an inspection. And I was insured with Westfield. That agency later rolled me over to Allstate, and I don't believe the home was inspected again. And through the first 10, 15 years, I did a lot of work to the house, roof replacement, a lot of, more heavier renovation. And at the point where I felt like it was ready, that Nationwide would accept it as a risk, I got a letter from Allstate saying they were dropping earthquake coverage from my homeowner's coverage. And I didn't really understand, but I did a little research and I found that there's a fault line below the city of Memphis, Tennessee. And while it's not considered volatile, if it ever shifts again, homes along the Mississippi and Ohio River are very likely to be affected by the earthquake. And I don't know, but I assume that's why Allstate dropped the earthquake coverage. But I was very uncomfortable with that, and I went to Paul and I explained what happened, and he said, you probably should move over to Nationwide. At that point, I'd done enough work to the house where I felt like it was a pretty good risk, and Nationwide did inspect. They asked me to do 3 things: add another handrail, take some ivy off the back of the house, and one other thing, but I did it on a weekend, and then the underwriter accepted me. Usually on a renewal time, I have to, you get the first bill and you check the rate, has it gone up? And usually if something's gone up, I have to call the agency and check on that. Why did my rate go up? Why did it go down? With your agency, I get a call from Stephanie Meyer, usually a month before the renewal, and she's already taken care of it. As far as a reapplication to keep the rate the same, or just checking my coverages. But I don't have to call. Stephanie sends me a letter, and she usually calls me at work and says, hey, I saw this and I'm on it, I'm going to take care of it. That's fantastic.